My family forgot about my baby shower and casually said, we didn't think it was that important. I smiled, left the group chat, and canceled every payment I'd been covering. The next day, when they realized, hey everyone, before we dive in, I have a quick favor to ask. If you enjoy content like this, please hit the subscribe button. It's free, supports the channel, and ensures you never miss out on amazing videos. All right, let's get started. You didn't invite anyone? I asked, my voice shaking even though I was trying to sound normal. My sister laughed. Ugh, you're so sensitive, she said. We didn't think it was that important. I stood in the middle of the kitchen, one hand on my stomach, the other holding my phone. My breath caught somewhere between a laugh and a sob. 34 weeks pregnant, swollen feet, back aching, and I'd spent the last month reminding them twice, 3 times, and every time it was, we'll figure it out. Or don't stress, we've got you. Apparently, they didn't. I sent out my registry. I made the invitation. I even checked with you about dates, twice, I said. Voice low now, too calm. The kind of calm that only comes when you've crossed some invisible line you didn't know existed. My mom chimed in from the background, as if that would make it better. Honey, baby showers are more for the first child. This is my first child, I said. Silence. Then my brother Max typed something in the family group chat. TBH, not a huge deal. It's just a baby shower. Just a baby shower. As if I hadn't paid for his car insurance the last 2 years. As if I hadn't helped our mom with her mortgage payment quietly every month so she wouldn't fall behind. As if I hadn't bought groceries for my sister when her fiancé left and took everything. As if I didn't matter. I looked at the screen, at all the little scene indicators under my last message. Then I did the only thing I could. I smiled, clicked the 3 little dots next to the chat name, and hit leave group. 2 minutes later, I was logged into my bank account. Payment to AT&T, cancel. Auto transfer to mom's account, delete. Venmo to my sister for Ellie's dance classes, declined. I didn't announce it. I didn't write a long goodbye. I didn't explain myself. I just stopped. And the next morning, when the Wi-Fi stopped working at my sister's apartment, when mom's phone plan suddenly dropped, and when Max's Netflix kicked him out mid-movie, they panicked. I watched it unfold in real time, sipping tea on my balcony, my baby kicking gently beneath my ribs, and for the first time in years, I felt peace. To understand how we got here, you need to know one thing. I was always the responsible one, the dependable sibling, the one who had it together. I got a job right out of college, started saving early, bought my own apartment at 29. Meanwhile, Max was still crashing with friends, trying to launch his podcast empire, and Jenna, my older sister, she married young, divorced younger, and never really stood on her own feet again. Naturally, I became the support system, quietly without ever being asked directly, because that's how they get you. It started small. Can you cover mom's gas bill this month? Her pension check came late. She's too embarrassed to ask. Jenna's behind on rent again. Ellie doesn't have proper shoes for dance class, and you know how talented she is. And every time, I said yes, not because I had so much, but because they had so little, or so I thought. They called me an angel, a rock, the glue of this family, and I ate it up, stupidly. I thought that's what love looked like. But over time, the gratitude disappeared. It was replaced with expectation. Then entitlement. Jenna never said thank you anymore. She just Venmo requested me $85 with the note Ellie's meds or emergency groceries. Though I once saw her on Instagram showing off a gel mani and brunch mimosas the same day. Max didn't even pretend. He once texted, yo, Rainu, handle it. And I did. Meanwhile, mom started saying things like, you know you're so blessed, sweetie. God gave you that job so you could help others. As if my success was assigned to fund their failures. By the time I got pregnant, I had paid Jenna's rent for 11 months straight. Max's phone, gym, and Spotify. Mom's utilities. Ellie's school fundraiser trips, costume fees, and even a $200 camp deposit. Total, I stopped counting after $188,000. But when I announced my pregnancy, they smiled, of course. Wow, congrats! But something shifted. Like I disturbed the family ecosystem by wanting something for myself. I should have known something was off when nobody offered to host the shower. We're all so busy, Jenna said. You'll probably just do something chill, right? Max didn't even acknowledge it. Mom said, why don't you just do a Facebook post instead of a whole party? I tried to shrug it off. I bought little pastel decorations myself. I made an Amazon registry mostly full of affordable essentials, diapers, bottles, a crib. I asked my friend Mia if I could host it at her place, and she said yes. I sent the invite in the family group chat, not a single RSVP. Weeks passed. The date crept closer. I followed up gently. Hey, just making sure you saw the invite? Jenna replied with an emoji. Max left me unseen. Mom finally responded, we'll see. That weekend's a bit hectic, honey. That weekend, they were at Anna's baby shower, my cousin's 3rd child. Full catered buffet, coordinated outfits, balloons taller than her toddler. The whole family was there, and I wasn't invited. I saw the photos on Instagram, Mom smiling beside Anna's cake table, Jenna taking selfies, Max posted a reel of the party DJ with the caption, family over everything. That night, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sat on the floor of my bedroom, rubbing the curve of my belly, and realized something. They weren't just absent. They were making a point that my baby didn't matter, that I didn't matter, and yet they still expected me to pay. The day after the party, Jenna requested $180 for Ellie's school project. Max texted, Mom's phone is off again. Can you fix it? And that's when the real shift happened. In me. I didn't reply. I opened the family chat and wrote one sentence. Thanks for making it clear where I stand. Then I left the chat and began the quiet demolition of their financial scaffolding. What I didn't know was how loud the consequences would be. The next morning, Max blew up my phone. Yo, what's going on? Wi-Fi down, Netflix too. You cancel the Spotify? Then came Jenna. Why is the internet off? Ellie has a school Zoom today and she's freaking out. Fix it. Also, did you cancel the Target card? I had a cart full of groceries. What is going on? Mom called, left a voicemail in her disappointed teacher voice. Sweetheart, this behavior is concerning. We're your family. You don't punish people you love. I didn't respond. I didn't owe them an explanation. Let them sit in the silence. Let them feel the vacuum I used to fill. That evening, I sat on my couch, warm tea in hand, baby kicking lightly beneath my ribs, and I smiled, because for once, they were the ones scrambling. And I was finally free from their strings. 2 days after I left the family group chat, my phone rang. Mom, of course. We're coming over tonight, she said sharply. All of us. We need to talk. Not hi, how are you feeling? Not, are you okay? Just, we need to talk. I could already hear the rehearsed speeches in her voice. They weren't coming to talk. They were coming to corner me. And for the first time in my life, I was ready for it. At 6:04 p.m., they arrived like a hurricane. My mom marched in without even making eye contact. My sister Jenna tossed her purse down like it offended her. Max slouched in, wearing his hoodie, pretending to be casual, but I could see the tension behind his smugness. They didn't ask to sit. They didn't ask how I was doing. They just took over my living room like they still owned it. Let's just get to the point, my mom said, crossing her arms. This whole silent treatment, canceling payments, it's childish, frankly. We're all shocked. Shocked? I asked, raising an eyebrow. You're shocked that I stopped paying for everything? Max leaned forward, annoyed. Yeah, seriously. The Wi-Fi is off. Netflix won't load. My gym app says I'm suspended. Like, did you cancel everything on purpose? On purpose? I smiled coldly. Yes, Max. That was the idea. Jenna snorted. Are you still on about that baby shower? It's just a party. Get over it. I stood up slowly, my hand resting on my belly. You're right. It's not about the party. It's about the fact that I'm 34 weeks pregnant and my entire family decided it wasn't worth showing up for me. Not one of you even RSVP'd. Mom raised her hand like a judge silencing a courtroom. We didn't mean anything by it. We just figured baby showers are usually for first babies. This is my first baby, I said, voice sharp now. And you all knew that. No one said a word. You didn't forget, I continued. You made a choice. You showed up for Anna's shower last weekend. Balloons, buffet, matching outfits, and you ignored mine. Then 2 days later, Jenna sends me a Venmo request for $180 and Max is asking me to fix Mom's phone bill. My sister rolled her eyes. Oh, please, don't act like a victim. You've always been the generous one. What? Now you want a cookie for helping out? That was it. I laughed, and it wasn't a nice laugh. It was the kind that comes out when you've snapped so hard the pieces can't be put back. Okay, let's talk about that generosity. Let's talk about how I paid your rent for 11 months straight, Jenna. How I covered Ellie's dance classes, school supplies, summer camp, while you posted your $60 gel nails and bottomless brunches on Instagram. Jenna flushed red but stayed silent. And Max, I turned to him. I've paid for your phone, gym, Spotify, Uber credits, and more. You once texted me, yo, run Stu, handle it, like I was your assistant, not your sister. Mom jumped in, voice rising. You're making this way bigger than it is. We're your family. We thought we could trust you. No, I said flatly. You thought you could use me, and you did. For years. Max scoffed. Man, what do you even want? A standing ovation? You made your money. You helped out. Big deal. That doesn't make you better than us. I leaned in. No, Max, it makes me tired. It makes me done. Because I've bent over backward for this family, and the first time I needed something, just one small act of kindness, you couldn't even pretend to care. Jenna stood up, hands on her hips. You're so dramatic. Do you want us to cry now? Throw you a pity party? Grow up. And then, unexpectedly, someone else spoke from the corner of the room. My cousin Lisa, who'd been sitting quietly the whole time, stood up. I was on your side, she said, voice shaking a little. But this is disgusting. You all act like she's an ATM and then treat her like dirt when she sets a boundary. Everyone turned to her, stunned. Lisa, don't get involved, Mom snapped. No, Lisa said. I am involved, because I see how you've treated her, and I don't want to be part of a family that punishes someone for growing a backbone. And just like that, Lisa grabbed her purse and walked out. The room fell into stunned silence. Then Mom turned back to me, face pinched with guilt and anger. Think about your baby. She needs a family. Are you really going to raise her alone without us? I looked my mother dead in the eye. Better alone than surrounded by people who only love me when I'm useful. They left my apartment that night like a funeral procession. No one slammed the door. No one screamed. Not anymore. The storm had passed. But the wreckage, it was everywhere. Max mumbled something under his breath on the way out, probably another insult, but I didn't catch it. Jenna didn't even look at me. And Mom, she paused in the doorway. Her hand brushed the edge of the doorframe like she wanted to say something. But she didn't. She walked away. And I closed the door behind them. Not gently. Not anymore. That night I stood in my kitchen with the light off, holding a warm cup of tea against my belly. My baby rolled once, then settled. The silence in the room felt like oxygen, like freedom. For the first time in years, I didn't feel guilty. Not for saying no, not for walking away, not for being selfish. Because I wasn't. What followed in the next few days was chaos, but it wasn't mine anymore. Day 1 silence, no texts, no calls. The family group chat, still missing me. Max posted a passive-aggressive Instagram story. When people turn their back on blood, don't be surprised when they drown alone. Jenna reshared it with 3 broken heart emojis. I didn't react. They wanted attention. They weren't getting mine. Day 3, guilt phase begins. Mom texted first. Can we please talk? I didn't respond. We didn't realize how deeply you were hurt, but that doesn't mean you should cut us all off. Still nothing. Then came her 3rd message. The bills are stacking up. Your sister can't afford Ellie's school trip. Max might lose his gym membership. I almost laughed. My silence was expensive, and they were finally starting to realize it. Day 5, panic mode. Jenna called 5 times in 1 hour. When I didn't pick up, she left a voicemail. Her voice was shaking, but it wasn't regret. It was rage. You've made your point, okay? Are you happy? Ellie's devastated. Mom's crying every night. Max is snapping at everyone. You broke the family just because of some stupid party. I listened to the message in full, then deleted it. Without a word. That evening, I received a message that stopped me mid-bite during dinner. Lisa, just wanted you to know I moved out of my parents' place. I realized how toxic this all was after what I saw at your place. Thank you for standing up. You helped me see clearly. I stared at the screen, my throat tight. One by one, they were falling apart, and somehow I was finally coming together. Day 7, unexpected visit. Kevin, Jenna's ex, Ellie's dad. We hadn't spoken in months, but there he was, standing at my front door with a box of baby clothes. I heard, he said simply. Ellie told me everything. She's not okay. He paused. You were the only one who truly cared about her future. So, these are from me, and from Ellie. She picked the onesies. I bit my lip. Tears threatened, but I held them back. Thank you, I whispered. Kevin looked at me a long time, then said something I didn't expect. You know, if you ever need anything, really, I'm here. Jenna's not doing so well. She's spiraling. She lost her job last week, blamed HR, but I think deep down she knows it's not them, it's her. I said nothing. I didn't feel joy or vengeance. I felt release. They were finally facing consequences. And I didn't have to lift a finger. 2 weeks later, collapse. Mom called again. I let it ring. Then she left a voice message. Your brother's behind on rent. Jenna's car just got towed. We haven't been able to get into Ellie's dance recital. I don't know what to do anymore. She paused. Please, just tell me what we did so wrong. Why are you doing this to us? I listened carefully. And when it ended, I played it again. And then I deleted it, because I wasn't doing anything to them. They did it to themselves. That same week, I got a card in the mail. No return address. Inside was a note, in awkward handwriting. I miss you. Mom says you're mad for forever, but I remember the pancakes, and how you came to my school play. I hope the baby is nice. Love, Ellie. I sat on the floor holding that card to my chest and cried harder than I had in months. Not because I regretted my choice, but because Ellie was the only innocent one in the whole story. Final blow, Jenna's breakdown. 3 weeks after the showdown, I got a message from an unknown number. It was Jenna, her tone, different, quiet, almost broken. I messed up. I ruined everything, and you were the only one who ever really helped. I know I said things I can't take back, but I'm sorry. There was no manipulation, no guilt, just honesty. But it was too late. I didn't reply, because I finally understood. Forgiveness isn't owed, especially when the damage is still bleeding. In the weeks that followed, my world began to feel lighter. The registry that once had 2 items claimed, suddenly, anonymous gifts started showing up. Diapers, onesies, a new baby monitor. My friend Mia threw me a late shower, just 6 people, and it was perfect. No fake smiles, no judgment, just people who showed up. And me, I started to feel human again. Not a bank, not a safety net, not an invisible daughter, just me, soon-to-be mother, whole on my own terms. It's been 8 weeks since the night I walked out of my family's life. No, scratch that. It's been 8 weeks since I walked out of the role they assigned me. The bank, the savior, the emotional punching bag. And here's the twist, no one saw coming. I'm not falling apart, I'm thriving. I wake up now without the weight on my chest. No buzzing phones with guilt-laced texts, no spreadsheets in my head about who needs what covered, no quiet panic about whether I'll have enough for diapers and someone else's overdue Wi-Fi bill. It's just me, my baby bump, and a sense of peace I never thought I'd taste. It's strange, honestly, to live in silence after years of obligation. For a while I kept waiting for the guilt to arrive. You know, that creeping voice that says, maybe you were too harsh, maybe you could have handled it better, but it never came. Because the truth is, I handled it perfectly. I told the truth, I drew the line, and I watched as they proved exactly why that line had to exist. Jenna still tries now and then. She'll send the occasional vague message like, hope you're doing okay, or Ellie misses you. But I don't reply. I don't punish her. I don't block her. I just don't engage. Because I've learned something they never wanted me to know. Not responding is a response. Silence is power. Boundaries are not cruelty. They are survival. Max, he's gone full victim mode online. He made a whole thread last week about fake family and how money changes people. It got 2 likes, one from Jenna, one from Mom. I didn't laugh. I pitied him, because without me, he's had to face himself. And honestly, that's the scariest mirror he'll ever stand in front of. My mom stopped calling altogether. She finally understood that I wasn't coming back. Not to the group chat. Not to their table. Not to the unspoken contract that I owe them for being born. Funny, isn't it? They raised me to believe I was the selfish one. But when the money stopped, so did their version of love. Makes you think. I've started building my own version of family. Mia, my best friend, comes over twice a week to help me prep the nursery. Lisa, yes, Lisa, texts me daily just to check in. She sends memes, baby name ideas, and reminders to drink water. Kevin brought over Ellie's favorite stuffed animal, just in case the baby likes it too. He said it was Ellie's idea. I believe him. And me? I'm still me, but more whole, more honest, more mine. The other night I stood in the middle of the nursery. The crib was built, the mobile was spinning slowly, soft clouds and sleepy moons. The light was warm, golden, and for the first time in my entire life, I felt something wild. I felt safe. Not because someone promised to protect me, not because I had backup, but because I had myself. I've walked through fire, I've been told I'm too much, too selfish, too cold. I've been used, guilt erased, and I survived. Better yet, I stopped apologizing for it. If my daughter ever asks me about my family, I'll tell her the truth, that blood is not always love. That kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. That being the strong one doesn't mean being the sacrificial lamb. And I'll tell her this, you are never required to set yourself on fire to keep other people warm. You are not responsible for making others comfortable at your own expense. You are allowed to say no, even to the people who raised you. I'll raise her with a spine and a heart, with compassion, but not compliance, with warmth, but not servitude. Because if there's one legacy I want to leave her, it's this. Never be afraid to choose yourself, even if it means standing alone. I used to think walking away would make me the villain, that they'd spin stories about how I abandoned them. And maybe they have. Let them. Because if choosing peace, protecting my child, and breaking generational patterns makes me the villain in their story, then maybe I was never meant to be the hero.